Glass. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Just given obviously the fact that you made the 2 starts in the short amount of time, even though you have quote unquote regular rest now. I mean, does it feel like regular rest? Did you throw a pen in between? I mean, how are you physically?
Physically, everything's normal. So what, like 2 days, and I just threw a bullpen on like just a normal 5 days. So it was like day off, bullpen, day off, throw tomorrow. So I just kept it like on a traditional schedule after I went on that short rest.
Right. So Sunday you just threw a regular pen, basically.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then just does last year's performance against the Astros, how much is that get into your mind at all, or trying to make amends for any of that, especially Game 5 went?
No, I mean, it's just a new season, just a new game plan. I haven't really thought about last year at all. I just approach it like every other start. I always say that to you, but really, I guess I haven't thought about it too much. Just going to go about it like any other game and just go out there and pitch.
I'm going to break you one day. You're going to say it's not just like any other start.
That's just an honest answer. I don't know how to answer it.
Hey, Glass. Obviously, after Game 5, the tipping pitches. Was that kind of eye-opening to you that it happened at that kind of magnitude? I mean, you had said you had some problems in the past with that, but was that kind of the time that you were like, okay, I got to fix this?
I mean, I've had it for a while, like you said. I think sometimes when it's just like your main focus isn't trying to fix your tip, it's like just going out and competing. So I think I just fell back into like old habits, but it's been addressed now. So it's not something I really am thinking about too much, but yeah, it was one of those, I guess after that start, it was something I went into thinking in the off season. And then once I started throwing, I was like attentive on it. And then once I got into spring with hitters and stuff, I think that was a really big time to like kind of make the change.
And other than that, where do you think you've grown the most as a pitcher since that start? Since last year in general?
I think confidence has gone up for sure. I just think like overall like body control has gone up too. I think like game planning now is a bit more efficient as far as like what I want to do to a hitter and stuff. But I do think like the last 2 years especially, like the control I have over my body and like kind of knowing where my limbs are in space has gone up a lot. And it's like relatively new. And I think me and Kyle have even talked about it. Like I feel like I'm just now starting to scratch the surface really. So yeah.
Tyler, because of the growth that you've made since last year, do you think there's any benefit that you're facing a team that at least this year hasn't seen you at all?
I mean, you'd have to ask them. I don't know. I mean, I feel confident. Stuff's been coming out well. I think I know how to attack these guys. So I'm just going to go about it kind of like in that state of mind.
And in the playoff series prior, you pitched, early in the series, you'll have gotten a chance to watch them for 3 games. Does that benefit you, do you think, in your preparation at all?
I think it's just to see like them in the box and stuff. But I think the guys that have gone are like pretty different to me. I don't think I can go off of like I don't know what's the right word. Like I can't like really just go like ABC kind of tailored to what the other pitchers are doing, but it is nice to kind of see how they're swinging it and like how they look in the box and how confidently they're like taking pitches and swinging at stuff. So, but yeah, I'm ready to go.
We'll take any additional questions now.
Hey, Tyler, Tino, what do you say to someone that says you need a third pitch, you need a fourth pitch, like you need those pitches to turn the lineup over? I mean, you seem to be proof that not always, but.
I'd probably agree with them. I think that's something that I'm definitely going to focus on next year, whether it be like a 2-seam or just throwing my changeup more. I think, as I said before too, like as the body control gets better, like this year especially, there's been some starts where I've really been able to locate and throw that changeup. I just think it's a matter of having more reps of it in a game and everything like that. And I think with like the shortened season, like having COVID and the preparation wasn't really there to begin this season. And like as season goes on, it's like the only time you can really practice it in a game is during a game that means something. So I think I'll break it out a lot more next year. I don't necessarily think it like I need it to like turn over a lineup 3 times. Like I'm always like my stats, I'm pretty sure this year are like a lot better third time through. I just think I get more like in rhythm with my body, but I just think it's going to make every inning a lot easier just to not have guys selling out on 2 pitches. So I do think it's something that I'm going to have to incorporate in the future for sure.
Hey, Tyler, last couple of years, we've seen a lot of pitchers go into index card in their cap or in their pocket when they're changing up sign sequences. Is that something you guys have done much of? And if so, how helpful of a resource can that be like during a game?
Yeah, so I'm not a big, like, I have a card obviously and like a bunch of different sign changes and whatnot, but like with me and Z, like if we think something's up, like we'll probably just discuss it like on the mound or in between innings. So I'll switch up my signs pretty consistently, but we have, I think we're on the same page so much so we're like, we kind of just have like the signals of like, we've discussed what our signs are for that game, like all different sets to where like, we don't really have to like look in the hat. We kind of just know like body signal or whatever it is. But I think it's helpful for a lot of guys.
Hey, Tyler, this is Barry Bloom from Sportico. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, just a question on, I don't know whether you watched the Dodger game last night, but what's the feeling of that now that there's some fans back in the stands? Is that something to look forward to if you get to the World Series in Texas? And what's it been like playing without fans in the stands this year?
Yeah, I think it'll be great. I think a lot of guys are looking forward to it. Kind of get back to normal baseball a bit. And I think that obviously the energy will be high just being like a World Series or whatever, like if we get there. It's been, I mean, for me, I think the days I'm like on the bench watching the games, it's a bit weird. Like you notice it a lot more, but I think for me, like a lot of the adrenaline and stuff comes from that like internal competition. Like you're still pitching in the big leagues and I haven't really been doing this for like 12 years. So there's still a lot of adrenaline there for me. So like I haven't really noticed much personally from like having no fans to having fans like while I'm pitching. But I think it'll be great to have that extra like crowd noise and whatnot if we get to the World Series.
What do you think of the way that they do the productions at the ballpark where they try to simulate your ballpark when you're the home team with all the videos and the sounds and the warning sign, and now you're going to convert over to the Astros tonight. You had to deal with Yankees last week. What'd you think of all that?
It's fine. It's cool. I haven't really thought about it much, to be honest. Like, it's not something I'm like focused on. And obviously, like, I'm not focused on it if I'm pitching. Like the days I'm not pitching, I guess I see it. But yeah, we have like Sterling and Will are our video guys, and they do an unbelievable job with those videos. So a lot of the guys do look forward to it, just kind of sitting in the dugout and like watching what they put on. And that's like the other kind of like art form of the game. Like I really do enjoy all the in-between inning stuff. But as far as like advantages go and whatnot, it's just like whatever. You're not really like focused on it too much.
Do you get any sense that it feels like a home game?
Just from the way the game is run, like I would say, just like going out first and whatnot. But I don't think like any of that adds to anything. I guess too, like with the added music and whatnot, it can add a little something, but nothing crazy.
What do you make pull out, or what do you think the secret key is?
We've been doing it all year. I just think we're clicking on like as a team, and I think even if you were to go look at teams in the past who do well in one-run games, like they all have like a really good clubhouse dynamic. Like don't quote me on that, but it seems like a lot of the teams you look back on, like you can pull those games out just because you're all kind of like working as a team, and no one really is having like individual at bats, or nobody's just trying to like stat for. So I think so much of it, like us, our only goal as a team is to win. So I think it's not shocking or anything. I think we've done it all year to where like not like we're used to it, but been.
So it's skill, it's talent. It's not a fluke thing, right?
Well, if it was like, I think we've been doing this like what last year and this year. I just think that's like the kind of guys on this team. I think so much of baseball, some guys like kind of get their approach and just want to like hit homers or just kind of do something individually, and there's not really any of that on our team. Like we'll do all things to like play baseball or like move and just. I've teams in the past, like minor leagues and whatnot, even like earlier than that and stuff. To tell the difference. Who's trying to win at a team who's just trying to individuals. So I think that's what it is for sure.
Tyler, some hitters have said this year that they missed the opportunity to have video review between games. Has not having video review for pitchers affected you, or I know obviously it helped you last year in terms of figuring out your pitch tipping? Would that have helped pitchers this year to have access to video in the same way they've had in the past?
Yeah, I think it's an individual question, more so for hitters. I think it's something that needs to definitely like come back. I think like it's such a huge part of hitters' routines, and I think a lot of pitchers too, like in between starts, being able to just go and get that peace of mind to understand like what they were doing wrong. And especially last year, I used video a fair amount, like not the day I pitched or anything, but like just in between, and like, you know, before a bullpen day, if I want to go look at something, or like me and Kyle want to go check something out. So it's definitely like still doable, but it's just very inconvenient. And for hitters, they have to like to go back and like look where a pitch is so they can like identify where the strike zone is like huge. So the fact that that's not available this year is, I really hope that gets changed, because I know a lot of our guys on this team, guys around the league have struggled quite a bit with not having it.
We have time for one more for Tyler.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler. Yeah, David from Fangraphs here. When people think about, park effects, they tend to think about the distance of the fans. They think about the fans, of course. But I've had pitchers tell me that besides the mounds feeling different, that sometimes the depth of the plate looks farther away, depending on the backdrops. Are you a guy that's impacted by either of those very much? And is this park different from others?
So I always remembered that like back in like high school and like maybe early pro ball, I always remember like having a weird like optic thing. Like some places, like if the backdrop's a lot closer, the catcher looks closer. But the last few years, like I haven't noticed at all. Like I really don't notice a difference. I think it's so much of it just like honing in on the catcher's glove. But I definitely do understand what like some players are talking about. But for me, like I don't really like notice the differences too much. Maybe in like bullpens pregame and like throwing bullpens and whatnot, but nothing in the game.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
Thanks,
Tyler.